This is Matrix Lord 212, and I want to discuss SpiderMan again, more in detail. I want to discuss, you know, the deal that Peter Parker Spider-Man made with Mephisto. Alright, I guess Marvel Comics threw in the fact that Mary Jane made the deal too. And yes, it is a comic book, but, after a while, it's like, do you have to really make it like a comic book like that, where it's like, even Mary Jane would go along with it. Even she made a comment like, oh, she's like 99 years old, whatever. She's gonna probably like die like tomorrow, a month, or whatever. Why would you even try to save her if she'll probably croak anyway? But she knows that if he didn't make the deal, the marriage would have been over and stuff like that. So she decided to go along with it. And she whispered something to Mephisto's ear. That we don't really know what it was. But the thing is that, in the end, I mean, I think that's what Marvel was trying to portray. But in the end, they showed that Spider-Man lost because when Mephisto erased, the timeline, he erased it from himself, but he got the soul of Peter Parker's unborn child. So, I mean, it shows you that, you can never make a deal with the devil. And you know what, too? I grew up on Spider-Man. I have 2 kids of my own. Like, when that storyline came out and I read it myself, I'm like, Spider-Man's a role model. I can't have my kids read about someone that makes a deal with the devil. Is that what we want to teach our kids in this new century, in this time we live in? That you do whatever it takes to make a deal with the devil, or you do whatever it takes to get ahead or get what you want. No, Spider-Man isn't about the easy way out, and this isn't Ghost Rider. I was waiting for Spider-Man's head to go up in flames and ride a motorcycle with spikes and a chains. I'm like, and then shoot webs too. I mean, this is just, I probably just gave Marvel an idea too, because a Ghost Rider Spider-Man with with webs, that would be pretty cool actually. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, no, but is this what society's come to? Is this what are we running out of ideas? I mean, Spider-Man doesn't make deals with the devil. I mean, oh my God. Do you even think about the concept of it? And the ramifications, even if it wasn't even felt right after. It's being felt now. It's going to be felt in a year from now. And the Spider-Man movie is great, but that's like better than what's going on now. I mean, granted, they got amazing writers on Spider-Man now, and they're doing awesome stuff. But the one stain that you have on the comic is that you erased the Spider-Man timeline for one story arc, that you did it in such a way that one story arc can't go away very easily. The comic is stained. I don't care if you make 1,000,000 stories that are great after that fact. Spider-Man made a deal with the devil. He's not a role model now, and I won't let my kids read that. I mean, I don't want them to think that. I mean, I know it's a comic and everything, but you know what? Come on. Kids read things, they emulate the heroes, they grow up from, when I grew up, I grew up from different bits and pieces, learning different things, and you get shaped, like Doctor Who made me want to be a writer, and Spider-Man made me want to work for comics, and I got into it, and all that stuff, but, I don't want my kids reading about that junk. I mean, you have to, and there's no guidelines either. I mean, weren't they originally supposed to read all the stories that came before, or somewhat majority of it? And I know there's a lot of stories that came before, but the way it is, a writer could take over a book, they don't even read what happened like a year or two ago, and massive storylines that occurred they don't even know about. So if you don't remember history, you're doomed to repeat it. And this is why we have so many problems with stories contradicting stories. Like, I read the issue and Mephisto, they made a deal with Mephisto, and then I see the storyline, I think it was a year later, and they're talking about Doctor Strange erasing everybody's memory, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, wasn't it Mephisto? So, you just messed up the whole, it's just like a cluster muck, you know what I'm saying? So, you can't have role models make a deal with the devil. I'm very upset. I'm going to be making so many videos about Spider-Man because this just burns me. It irks me. It's just like, I can't take it. Like, it will never be fixed unless that is changed. You know, you cannot have Spider-Man, I mean, make a deal with the devil. I'll say it a million times. It just doesn't happen. Great power comes great responsibility. Not greater power comes great irresponsibility. I mean, that's just nonsense. So I hope Marvel Comics could. And you know what too? The DC Universe, they take from Marvel and they do this whole 52s and stuff like that. You know, and I'm sure that the storylines are good, but I think eventually the sales are going to decline, and people, because the original fans are going to get aggravated that all these storylines got thrown out. And I think Marvel shouldn't change the whole Marvel Universe. They should reboot the universe. They did it already with Heroes Reborn. So I think the Spider-Man timeline needs to be reverted back to the way it was. I would be welcome to writing about how to fix it. I mean, I think I already did it. Yeah, I already did it already. I wrote it in my books about how I would fix it, but I'm not going to say it here. But definitely needs to be fixed. Alright, so please subscribe, and thank you for watching my channel.